Hello everyone, welcome to the second session of Vedic Maths. I hope you guys have attended the first session in which we did squaring of the numbers ending with 5 and the multiplication trick with 11. If not, kindly go back and check the previous video. I think we should start. In the last video, we completed square of numbers ending with 5 and the multiplication trick with 11. So let's start this video with the 2 by 2 multiplication trick. Let me move to the next slide to explain this. Right in the heading for you guys. I'll explain this with the help of an example. Let's take a simple example first. The numbers that I have taken are 22 and 31. So if you see the conventional means by which we can solve this, what we generally do is this. We obtain the product of 22 and 31 as 682. We'll solve the same with the Vedic Maths technique as well. Now in here, one word of advice for people who really find solving by conventional means easy and faster, you can always stick to this technique. However, for those people who really want to solve complex problems with ease and fast, you can follow the 2 by 2 multiplication technique through Vedic Maths. I'll solve the same example through the speed maths technique. I'll write in the steps for you guys side by side so that you can understand better. You can keep writing along with me. So the first step would be, you can either start from the left or you can start from the right. In this case, let me first explain this by starting from right. I'll explain another problem in which I'll be starting from left. So if you start from right, the first step that comes into the play is to multiply the extreme right numbers. In this case, the numbers are 2 and 1, numbers that are in here at the extreme right. Now multiplication of 2 and 1 gives us 2. However, do remember that the space that needs to be filled in here is a two-step blank process. So two numbers needs to be formed in here. Hence, even if you obtained 2, you need to write it as 02 to fill both the spaces. Moving on, we'll go to step 2. Now, since we had started from the right, the next step that comes in is the cross multiplication. I'll write it again in here for you guys to see better. The cross multiplication involves 2, 1 and 2, 3. So the result that we will be obtaining is the product of 2 and 1 plus the product of 2 and 3, that is 8. Again, since it's a two-step blank process, so we'll be filling in 0, 8 instead of just 8. Now the third and the last step that remains are the product of numbers that remain, that is 2 and 3 in this case, which are the extreme leftmost numbers. So the step 3 will be multiply the leftmost numbers, that are 2 and 3. The result will be 0, 6. Since I had already mentioned, and I'll repeat again, it's a 2 blank. Now the thing that we need to do is pretty easy. Since we had started from the right, so we will keep the rightmost digit in here, that is 2, as it is, and we'll bring it down. Now what remains to be done is the sum of numbers which occur across the bracket. Now the numbers are 0 and 8 that occur across this bracket. We'll simply add them up. The addition of 8 and 0 will give us 8. We'll simply write it down. Similarly, the number 0 and the number 6 occur across this bracket. We will simply add them up. The addition of now the last step that remains is the leftmost number, that is 0. We will bring it down as it is, just like the rightmost digit 2. Hence the number obtained is 0, 6, 8, 2. Or you can say the product of 22 and 31 is 682. You can recheck is the same as that we obtained through the conventional means. However, once you keep practicing, you can solve this in mind without even making all these calculations or steps. Practice more to solve better and faster. I'll take one more example for you guys to understand better. I'll take in the example of 54 and 27. I've already written the steps for you guys to save some time. I'll quickly explain these steps. As I mentioned, in the last problem we started from right. So in this problem I'll be starting from the left. So if we start from left, the steps will be first to multiply the leftmost numbers. Remember, in the previous problem we started from right. That's why the first step was to multiply the rightmost numbers. In this case, the leftmost numbers are 5 and 2, that is 10. Now 10 is already a 2-digit number, hence we need not put a 0 preceding it, since it's already a 2-digit number and fills both the blank spaces. Now again, since we are starting from left, we will write the number from the left as well. Please go back to the last question and you can observe that we started with the right, since we started multiplying from the right as well. In this case, since we are starting from the left, we are writing the numbers from the left itself. The next step will be the cross multiplication, if you remember. The cross multiplication will be between 5 and 7 and 4 and 2. The result we obtained is 43. We'll just simply write it down. Now 43 is already a 2-digit number, so we do not need to add a 0 preceding it. Now the third and final step will be to multiply the rightmost numbers. Now do remember, in the last problem we started from the right and we went until the left. Here we are starting from the left and we are going until the right. So the rightmost numbers are 4 and 7. Multiplication of 4 and 7 is 28, and we simply put it down. Once we get all these numbers, next step that follows is pretty simple. Firstly, to bring the rightmost digit as it is, that's 8. Now the next step is just to add the numbers that occur across the bracket, that is 3 and 2 and 4 and 0. The sum of 3 and 2 gives us 5, and the sum of 0 and 4 gives us 4. And the leftmost number that occurs is 1 that we bring down as it is. So the number obtained is 1, 4, 5 and 8. That's the product of 54 and 27. I hope you guys like this technique and you can practice and try more problems like this to solve. We'll move into the next problem and we'll try to take a bit more complex one, and I'll show you certain exceptions as well. Let's take 68 and 96. Pretty big numbers, right? Now for those who have already understood how it is solved, you can kindly pause the video and try it by yourself. For those who haven't, please carry on. So first things first, let us start from the right. The first two numbers that we need to multiply are 6 and 8. So the multiplication of 6 and 8 gives us 48. Moving on, we need to do the cross multiplication. In this case, it's 6 into 6 that gives us 36, and 8 into 9 that will give us 72. So the number we obtained is 108. And what remains to be done are the multiplication of the numbers 9 and 6. 9 and 6 will give us 54, the multiplication of course. So the numbers that we obtain in here are 54, 108 and 48. Kindly pay attention, this is a different kind of problem. We haven't faced any such problem in the examples that we did earlier. So I'll be explaining how to do it right away. The concepts remain same though. The rightmost digit, since we started from the rightmost digit comes down as it is. So 8 just comes down, and then we will be adding the numbers which occurred across the boundary. In this case, it's 8 and 4. So the sum of 8 and 4 gives us 12. However, as I mentioned earlier, it's a single blank box and can hold only one digit. In this case, it will be the single digit of units place, that's 2. And the 1 that is left over will be used as a carryover for the next number. Now here, you might think that the next numbers that will be added across the boundary are 4 and 1. However, that is not the case. Since we already added 8 with that of 4, so now the number that needs to be reconsidered is 10 and not 1 alone. So what is the next operation that is going to happen is we will consider 4 as one entity and we will consider 10 as one entity and we will add them both. So the addition of 4 and 10 will give us 14. However, do not forget that we also have a 1 as a carryover from here. So 14 and 1 carryover will give us 15. But then again, if you refresh your concepts, it's a single digit place. So the only number that we can have here is the units place, that is 5. And this one will be used as a carryover for the next number. In this case, 5 is the next number, and since it's the leftmost digit, it will be down as it is. So we have 5 in here, and we have carryover 1 from here. So we will be getting the answer as 6. So the number that we obtain is 6, 5, 2, 8. Phew, this was a mind breaker. I hope you guys understood it well. If not, kindly let me know in the comment section. I'll make sure to make one separate video for you to understand. It's pretty long 2 by 2 multiplications. So I think we are done for most of the part. But as a result, to let you show how we solve the problems very quickly, as far as this method is considered, we'll take one very last example and try to solve it pretty quick. Let me take 67 and 35. Now I'll go on without explaining much, but you guys can actually pause the video and try it for yourself and see your speeds. Now if your speed exceeds the speed with which you can do it through conventional means, then of course you can try the Vedic Maths method. However, if you feel more comfortable in doing it by conventional means, you can always go ahead with that. So I'll solve this problem pretty quick. I'll start from the right. 7 and 5 makes 35. The cross multiplication gives 51. And 6 and 3 gives 18. So what I'm left to do is put in the rightmost digit 5. Addition of 3 and 1, 4. Addition of 8 and 5, 13. But only one digit, that is the units digit, can come. So it's 3 and carry 1 to the leftmost digit, which will give me 2. So the answer to this question will be 2, 3, 4, 5. That is the product of 67 and 35. I hope you guys find this video helpful. If at all you did, kindly let me know and please provide me your feedback if you have any doubts. I'll make sure to clarify them in my next video. Well then, now that we are done with the 2 by 2 multiplication, we are done with square of numbers ending with 5, we are done with multiplication trick with 11, and we are done with 2 by 2 multiplication as well. The next part which we will be covering right now is 3 by 3 multiplication. This can be a bit dicey around the corner, so please do pay attention carefully when I start explaining this topic. I'll just quickly move ahead with it. What we will be seeing right now is 3 by 3 multiplication. The process is more or less same as that of the 2 by 2 multiplication, with just a few more steps added to it. I'll start solving it with the help of an example. Let's take the two numbers that we need to multiply as 123 and 456. I'll write in the steps here for you. start with the step 1. It's the same as that we did in the 2 by 2 multiplication. You can either start from the left or you can either start from the right. In my case, I prefer starting from the right, so I'll just go ahead with it. The first step will be the multiplication of the leftmost digits. I'm sorry, the rightmost digits. In this case, it's 3 and 6. That will give us 18. So I'll write 18 in here. I'm writing from the right since I started here from the right. Had we started from the left, I would have written the results from the left. Moving on, we'll go to the step 2. In order to easily remember this, you can follow these steps. Now that we have started with right, we will finish the works or the operations from the right first. Now imagine what you used to do in case of a 2 by 2 multiplication. Firstly, you multiplied the extreme rightmost digits, and then you used to cross multiply these two numbers, the two numbers that you are available with or that are visible to you. Here we will do exactly that. Now, since we have started from right, including the extreme rightmost digits, the two numbers which are visible to us are 2, 3, 5 and 6. These are the 4 digits. So we will do a cross multiplication in here. So if we do the cross multiplication, we will obtain 12 plus 15, that will fetch us 27. Now remember guys, if you would have started from left, the first digits that you have multiplied are 1 and 4, that's the extreme leftmost digits. And since you have started from left, you will do the same operation as you repeated in 2 by 2 multiplication, that is cross multiplying 1, 2, 4 and 5. That's the part I'm highlighting right now. But since we have started from the right, we multiplied the extreme rightmost digits, that's 3 and 6, and we did the cross multiplication between 2, 3, 5 and 6. You can relate it very well to the 2 by 2 multiplication. So the result we obtain is 27. Moving on to the step 3. Now here you need to do a cross multiplication itself, but in a more fashionable way. I'll write in the total numbers. The numbers that we have are 123 and 456. The cross multiplication that we need to do is 1 with 6, 3 with 4 and 2 with 5. That is, multiply the leftmost and the rightmost digits, and again the rightmost and the leftmost digits, and the numbers that remain. In this case, it will be 1 and 6, 3 and 4, and 2 and 5. I'll be explaining it again to not 40. So that gives me 6 plus 12 plus 10. Result obtained is 28. So the number that will come here again is 28. The next step that we will be following, once we are done multiplying, or rather I should say cross multiplying the 3 numbers intact, next step will be to cross multiply the other 2 numbers that's left. Once we did cross multiplication of 2, 3, 5 and 6, and we also did cross multiplication of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the next cross multiplication that is possible is of 1, 2, 4 and 5. If you guys can't see, I'll just write it over again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Firstly, we did cross multiplication of 2, 3, 5 and 6. The next thing that we did is cross multiplication of all the numbers 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6. So the only thing that is left to cross multiply right now is 1, 2 and 4, 5. That will be our fourth step. So if we cross multiply, we will get 1 into 5 plus 2 into 4. That will give us 13. So we'll write 13 in here. Now, of course, the only digits that we are left with are the extreme leftmost digits 1 and 4. So once we multiply 1 and 4, we get 4. However, we have to write it as 0, 4 as I mentioned in the earlier examples. So that all we are left to do now is the same operations that we repeated for the 2 by 2 multiplication. Since we started from right, the extreme rightmost digits will be brought down as it is. That makes 8. Then we just need to add up the numbers across the brackets. That's 7 and 1, 8 and 2, 3 and 2, and 4 and 1. Now the sum of 7 and 1 gives us 8. The sum of 8 and 2 gives us 10. However, as I already mentioned, it's a single blank digit and only the units digit will come, and the tens digit will be added as a carryover in the next operation. So the next operation is the addition of 3 and 2. Now 3 plus 2 gives us 5. However, we also have one carryover that will give us 6. And the last operation remains is the addition of 4 and 1. That gives us 5. And 0 just comes down as it is, since it's the leftmost digit. So the number that we obtain are 5, 6, 0, 8, and 8. So the product of 123 and 456 is 56088. I hope you guys understand. Also see one more example, a bit complex one of course. The number I would like to take here are 987 and 987. You can also say this to be the 987 square. Writing in the steps in here. The first things first, we start from the right. We need to multiply the extreme rightmost digits. That's 7 and 7. It will give us 49. We put in 49 in here. Next operation that we need to do is, since we started from right, we need to do a cross multiplication like we used to in a 2 by 2 multiplication. So the second step will be the cross multiplication of 8 and 7 and 7 and 8. That gives us 112. Do not be worried by seeing 112 as the number, guys. We'll just see how to do it. The third step, remember, is to do a triple cross multiplication. That's 987 and 987. We just need to cross multiply this and this and this. That will give us 9 into 7 plus 9 into 7 plus 8 into 8. That's 63 plus 63 plus 64. Result obtained will be 190. So we write 190 in here. Again, do not be worried by seeing a 3-digit number. We'll quickly move into step 4. Once we are done with triple cross multiplication, what we will do is we will go for the double cross multiplication again with the digits that are left. That is 98 and 98. If we cross multiply, we will get 72 plus 72. That's 144. We'll just write 144 in here. And the last operation that we are left with is the multiplication of the extreme leftmost digits, that's 9 and 9. The multiplication of 9 and 9 gives us 81. Is the last step. Extreme leftmost digits, that's 81. We'll quickly write an 81 in here. And all that is we're left with is to do the final operation. Since we started from right, we'll just bring back 9 as it is, since it's the rightmost digit, since they occur across the bracket. 4 into gives us 6. The digits that we are left with, if you remember, while I solved it in one more example, while I was doing 2 by 2 multiplication, we need to consider 11 as a single entity and not just 1. And the other entity that is left here is 0. So the numbers that will be added across the bracket are 11 and 0. Addition of 11 and 0 gives us 11. However, we only have space for one digit, that's the units digit, and the tens digit will be going on as a carryover in the next operation. Now again, similarly as we took 11, we need to consider 19 as one entity and 4 as another entity. Once we add 19 and 4, we obtain 23. But do not forget we also have one carryover. So 23 and 1 gives 24. However, we only have space for one digit, that will be the units digit, that is 4. And the 2 will go in as a carryover for the next operation. Similar to 11 and 19, we have 14 in here as a single entity, and we have 1 in here as another entity. So the numbers that will be added across the bracket are 14 and 1. Now 14 and 1 addition gives us 15. However, do not forget that we also have a 2 as a carryover from here. 15 and 2 gives 17, but we can only have one digit, as I have always explained. That will be the units digit, that is 7. And the 1 that is left here in the tens place will go as a carryover to the next operation. The next operation is of course 8. Being the leftmost digit, it will directly come down in here. But 8 also has a carryover from 17. That 1 that came as a carryover here. So we'll just add 1 as a carryover to 8 and we will obtain 9. So if you look closely, the final numbers that are obtained are 9, 7, 4, 1, 6, 9. That's the product of 987 and 987. Or we can say 987 square is 974169. Phew, I think we already learned a lot. That will be all for this video, guys. Kindly go back and revise. Do watch the video again and please let me know if you have any doubts. I'll make sure to clear them in the comment section itself. If you like my work and you like the video and you like the concepts that I teach, please like the video, share the content, and please subscribe to my channel for more such amazing contents. The next topic that we'll be marching ahead with is the squares. The calculation of squares from 25 to 75. We'll be seeing this in the next video. Thank you. Please do let me know if you have any doubts. Have a great day.